Tonight, Missouri leaders are taking a new approach to fighting against the second largest criminal industry in the country, human trafficking.
ABC 17's Taylor Petras has been reporting on this issue for the past few months now. And in a special report tonight, she tells us about some major developments here in mid-Missouri.
Since my last special report in February, both state and federal leaders are stepping up to make some changes in how we combat human trafficking in Missouri. Last month, the Attorney General created the first ever statewide task force. Just yesterday, Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill passed new requirements in committee for the Department of Homeland Security. This all while the FBI has been investigating and successfully raided a Columbia home. It's almost hard to miss. The house on Vandiver Drive sporting a Green Bay Packers helmet on the front window. But while its outside may draw attention, this is where federal authorities say it's been hiding a dark secret inside for at least the past year. Women forced into prostitution.
We have every reason to continue to believe that trafficking exists across our state.
Kenneth Jones, Ronald Clark, and Barry Manthe charged with running a brothel out of the home. Court documents say Jones forced 3 women, including a 17-year-old, to sell themselves for sex, while Clark and Manthe advertised the women on Backpage and kept part of the cash.
They're running below the radar much more than they were when they were open about it, operating out of a storefront.
Detective Tom O'Sullivan with the Boone County Sheriff's Department tells me Barry Manthe has been involved in this type of crime before.
In the late 80s, he was affiliated with several massage parlors up in the Prathersville area, and we put some attention to those places and eventually wound up shutting them down and basically relocating them.
It's unclear where Manthe moved next, but he eventually settled in the house on Vandiver. Available to answer some questions we had about your property you own at 1125 Vandiver. I left 2 messages with the landlord and even stopped by his business to learn more about his tenants. But I'm still waiting to hear back. At the end of March, Columbia police helped the FBI in raiding the Vandiver house, taking Manthe and Clark into custody. The house is now cleared out, waiting for its next renters.
These are horrible, horrible cases. We're talking about a crime against humanity.
Special Agent Heath Yonke supervises the human trafficking squad at the FBI office in Kansas City.
We're looking for the big picture here. We don't want to just take down the single trafficker. Our goal federally is to dismantle the criminal networks.
Yonke and others tell me Missouri is a prime spot for human trafficking, and the number of reported cases in the state have nearly tripled over the past 5 years.
It's under-enforced. It's under-prosecuted. It's a significant problem all across our state.
Now Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley is taking a new approach to put an end to human trafficking.
And that's why these new tools that we have developed are ways to get at that problem and increase the prosecution and tell traffickers, don't come to our state.
Last month, Hawley rolled out new regulations to go after businesses that commonly participate in human trafficking, as well as a statewide task force, a state hotline number, and more training for law enforcement.
We may not be winning this fight yet, but all these efforts that he's putting forth will certainly move us further ahead.
The Human Trafficking Task Force, made up of nonprofits, law enforcement, and prosecutors, met for the first time just last week, where they outlined their goals for the future. The task force is expected to meet once every 3 months. Hawley tells me his office is going to spend a significant portion of its $30 million budget on these human trafficking initiatives.
Great information and follow-up, Taylor. Since their arrest, Manthe and Clark have been released from federal custody on charges of racketeering. And right now, Kenneth Jones is set to face a jury in September.